Your mental strength is a critical component to success. Unfortunately, there's no one-size-fits-all game plan for rebounding mentally after a tough loss or avoidable error sends your confidence into a tailspin. So to help you block out the noise, be it internal or external, and build up your grit, mettle, backbone, resolve, fortitude, gumption, guts, or whatever term you want to use for mental toughness, we put together this collection of real advice from real human beings, including a Guinness World Records holder, 5 times CrossFit Games winner, 2 Super Bowl champs, doctors, educators, coaches, CEOs, a Taekwondo prodigy, and an Army Ranger, in hopes that at least one tidbit, tip, reminder, suggestion, or hack contains the motivational ass kick you need to challenge yourself and create a roadmap to success. You ready? Let's do it! After you watch the video, and then like, comment, and share it, of course.
Quick synopsis is, I grew up homeless, living in tents, dealing with crazy stuff, murderers, human trafficking that affected our family, a serial killer, drug running, drug abuse, like all sorts of stuff of like that scope. I mean, this was the world I lived in. This was in Northern California, this place called Murder Mountain. I got myself out of that situation, but just by chasing the extremes, chasing things that were beyond the scope of like what I should be able to do. And I ended up taking custody and raising my 3 younger sisters while I worked full time while I put myself through my dual engineering degree, my MBA, and continued to move down that path in my life, raising them until they were adults. So one of the things that I wanted to, the biggest thing is to inspire people. Crazy.
So this idea of complacency, of just, same old, and just kind of expecting stuff to just happen for us, and the sky's not falling, and we're just going to muddle through life, changes when there's a date on the calendar. It shakes you up. And I think that's the problem. I think the fact that our lives are so good, Netflix doesn't get turned off. The couch doesn't get repossessed, whether we work hard or not. And so if you don't have a date on the calendar, if you don't have something is shining a mirror in your face, and it's going to hurt if you don't deliver, you just don't do the work. And it applies to companies, it applies to teams, it applies to everybody.
It's all about progressing for me. Not that I'm going to overlook what I've accomplished. I know what I've accomplished. I don't need to look at it every day and remind myself of, oh yeah, that was nice. And that's how I look at all things that I accomplish in life. It's, set a goal, and then once I get there and I accomplish it and I experience that goal, it's either I get complacent and I'm like, oh, okay, what do I do now? Or it's like, nope, is there another opportunity, something else that will continue to keep me inspired?
I'm the type of guy, like when I do something and I walk away from it, I'm done with it. It's done. Because when you find something you're passionate about, then you just move on and you erase that part because it's done. That chapter is closed. Because if you're looking back in the past, you can't move forward because you're so consumed by what you used to do. It's about what can I do now to help myself get better for what I want now, right?
Placing discipline into your life. I think one, it starts with getting that first win. I'm a big fan of Tim Grover's book, Winning, and he talks about you're born with no wins. And sometimes you need that first win, and that first win is very challenging, and it can be a very, very small win, like tiny. But that first win is going to build a level of confidence. And then when you go after the second win, you're going to have to sacrifice more in terms of time, energy, money, resources, and it's going to hurt. It's going to be uncomfortable, but the confidence you build from that second win is greater. And then over time, you gain a lot of wins. You also have a lot of losses. But with these wins, you also build this level of confidence.
Surround myself with good people. Focusing on the opinions of people that I value and people that are close to me. The opinions of some random Joe Schmo, who cares? You're going to have 1,000,001 couch coaches that are telling me how shit I am or that somebody's better or whatever it is. And it's like, all right, the fuck do you know? Why would I listen to the criticisms of somebody that I wouldn't take the advice from? Like if I walk by a homeless man and he's telling me that I have a terrible allocation of my stocks, well, why the fuck would I listen to him? He's broke.
So first one is find out who has your dream job, see how they got there, and see if you can maybe repeat some of those steps. And then the other one is like, it's a competitive field. It's a competitive world. And the other piece of advice I got was like, figure out what you need to do to get better at your craft, and then get up an hour earlier than you normally do and work on what you need to do?
I think there are commonalities with every athlete at every level that I've been able to work with, from 4-year-olds up to Olympians, has been that every athlete will recognize the areas where they're deficient. We'll get athletes to focus on what are the things you're really good at. That's not to say that we don't look at areas for improvement, but too often athletes overlook their strengths. The second commonality that I see with athletes, and especially the youth age, is managing expectations and fear of failure. When we talk to ourselves on the things that we should be able to do, or we have to do, or we need to do, or we must do, that brings comparisons to other people. Worry too much about the failure as opposed to focus on ourselves, focus on self-improvement. So I talk about having a goal-setting mindset. What are the things you want to do as opposed to that you should or need to do?
I think one of the key things from a mental or psychological standpoint is just to keep that athlete as engaged as you can with the sport. And one of the things that athletes do that probably isn't intentional, it's kind of natural for us to go seclude ourselves when we're hurt or we're going through a struggle or something that's not easy. But I think that's the worst thing that athletes can do. I mean, when you're in that situation where every day you're around this group of athletes and this group of coaches and you're pushing yourself and this is really your identity, and then you have that identity taken from you, I think you still gotta find a place where, you know, potentially it's a new identity for a temporary period of time. If I'm the stud running back and now I'm out and I can't score points anymore, what can I do then to help the team succeed? And I think the biggest thing there would be, what's my impact in the film room and how can I help the next guy out?
Because I thrive off of that energy. I thrive off of that adrenaline of trying something new and becoming great at it. But it's also the realization of you don't have to be great at everything. You can have one thing that is your purpose and passion and reason for life, but you can have other things that are just your hobbies that you have fun with. You deserve to be in touch with your inner child, to be able to have fun with different things. And I'm really learning that myself. And I took dance up this year to have that outlet of just having fun and being a beginner at something. I would definitely tell people that it's actually a great skill to have, to just be a beginner at something and learn from there, whether you're 30, 40, 50, it doesn't matter. But just enjoying that, not having that pressure of having to be perfect. I think that if you're an athlete or whatever you may do, if you're great at something, you know what that feels like of having to be perfect all the time. So I would say that it's more important than you think to be able to get out there and try something new and just be okay with whatever happens. It might end up becoming something you're great at, or it might just end up being something like you falling off a skateboard every 10 minutes, but that's so fun. And it's really important in life to be able to laugh at yourself as well.
The whole game is mental. You fail more times than you succeed in every aspect of the game. What level you play at, high school, college, there's always the people who try and chirp you, who want to see you fail. You have to block that out, realize that they want to see me fail. I'm going to go out there and do my best. When I was younger, I used to kill myself for mistakes. And then my mom and dad got on me. They were like, you have to stop caring, let it go. It's just a game. Everyone makes mistakes. In the past couple of years is when I really stopped caring, especially pitching. The biggest mental game. One hit, you get messed up, or one error in the field, you're going crazy. You gotta relax, then block up the chirping, and block everything else.